Jackie X. In its heyday, the Nordschleifer was the racetrack that separated the men from the boys. The place where the world's greatest drivers tested their mettle against their metal. But like any harsh mistress, the Nordschleifer played no favorites and took no prisoners. Hundreds of lives have been lost there, amateur and professional alike. These days, the circuit is both feared and revered. And at long last, its safety features have been deemed worthy of the men and women who continue to challenge themselves around all 154 of its turns.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, a survey unveils a strong approval rating for the Davis administration's work 2 years into their term. Plus, passengers aboard a flight from Eleuthera to Abaco survive an emergency crash landing. We have the details. And a 33-year-old man of Holmes Rock is dead after being struck by a vehicle over the weekend. Those stories, sports, and more in the Bahamas tonight, the Northern Edition.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping news tonight, a recent survey revealed that Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis received a 65% approval rating from residents who were asked whether they approved of his performance since taking office nearly 2 years ago. Our Simone Davis spoke with the company that created the survey for more insight on these findings and joins us live now in studio. Simone?
That's right, Ramiko. 2 years into the Davis administration's reign, and the nation's leader is keeping high numbers when it comes to his performance ratings. This, according to the president of survey company Public Domain, who posed a question to citizens across the country.
On the 2 year, we were coming up on the 2 year anniversary of the new administration, and we just wanted to find out what people thought about the Prime Minister and his government. And so we asked.
Public Domain has been in operation for 13 years. Raming says his company uses an international mythology specialist to properly craft survey questions, prompting honest responses. He also explains how they targeted residents from every island to participate in the survey.
The most important thing about any survey that you find is that it has a random selection. So that's what's important for us. So what we do is we do what's called random digit dial. So we have the first 3 digits, or we create the first 3 digits of the phone number, let's say 327, and then we randomly generate the last 4. And then we do that for every single NXX, or first 3 digits, for the country, both landline and cell phones. So we make sure that we have 2 levels of random. So not only the numbers random, the way they come out is generated is come out as random as well. That's what's important, because that's how you can make sure that every single Bahamian has an opportunity to participate in the survey before you even start. And that's, I'm saying opportunity. That doesn't mean, obviously, that everyone will participate, but we're not excluding anybody.
So this time, residents were asked whether they approved of the job being done by the Prime Minister. A total of 589 residents throughout the Bahamas responded to that question. 23% strongly approve, 42% somewhat approved, 16% were indifferent, and 9% strongly disapproved, while 9% somewhat disapproved.
You know, people were asking you, you're impacted by the work that the government does every day. How are you feeling that they're doing representing you? Whether you be whatever political party you are. And I think people are just saying, what we're seeing right now is, 60% of Bahamian people approve.
Now, Raming made it clear that the purpose of the survey was not to get government attention or feedback, but to simply act as the voice of the people. Live in studio for the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Simone Davis. Back to you, Ramiko.
Thanks so much, Simone. In other news, it is a significant step forward for the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute. The contract signing for renovations at the Northern Campus. Minister of Education, the Honorable Glenys Hannah Martin, traveled to Grand Bahama for the $1.6 million signing. Our adjutant was there and filed this report.
The Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute's Northern Campus is about to get a major facelift. Today, the executive team at the institution signed a contract for a whopping $1.6 million.
This is a shift of the paradigm. This is the way forward in the future.
With around 600 students enrolled at the Northern Campus, BTVI continues to move in an upward progression. Minister Hannah Martin commending the Institute's team for their work on continuously enhancing the Northern Campus following the devastating impact it sustained during Hurricane Dorian.
This is a facility that will tap into the incredible talent and abilities and vibrancy of our young people. And we're going to encourage it, we're going to fuel it, we're going to facilitate it, and we're going to unleash it.
The contract was awarded to Patrick McDonald Construction Company Limited, and the renovations will encompass repairs to the administrative offices, electronics, electrical, engineering, and welding lab. Minister Moxie accompanying the Education Minister on a tour of the facility and stands on her ministry's commitment to working along with the Institute.
We want you to be our partners in propelling our students and island forward in the space of technology. This is crucial as we plan to be on the cutting edge of the ever-evolving demands of the job market.
The Ministry of Education's Deputy Director for Grand Bahama Designate also speaking to the partnership they already have with BTVI, which she says she is happy to continue.
Making sure that at the end of the day, our students are well prepared to handle and to take advantage of the many opportunities which will be provided for them. Not having to travel to New Providence, but it is here in Grand Bahama.
Now, contractor Patrick McDonald could not give a definitive start date of the project. However, he says it will take 6 months to complete. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Azure Quant.
Well, the man who lost his life in a traffic accident on Holmes Rock over the weekend has been identified by relatives as 33-year-old Joshua Joaquin. Our ZNS News team spoke with the father of the victim as he reflects on the cherished memories left behind by his beloved son. Raven Davis reports.
Joshua is the sweetest person you could find. Never bothered nobody, just home, do anything.
What you just heard is the melodic voice of 33-year-old Joshua Joaquin, whose life was cut short in a traffic accident over the weekend. His father, Apostle Bernard Joaquin, reflects on his memory as he comes to terms with this agonizing situation. He says shortly after it unfolded, he received a call from a church sister notifying him of what transpired.
Me and my wife quickly get ready and we ride to the scene. When we ride to the scene, we meet him on the floor and lifeless. You know, when I look at him, I say, wow, look at my son. I call him and he didn't even answer me.
Now, Apostle Joaquin did express that his son Joshua did have some mental challenges and at times would have to be admitted to the Dye Ward for care, though he maintains that he was always respectful. We also got a chance to hear from police on Grand Bahama, who said that the incident occurred sometime around 5 a.m. on Saturday when the driver of a black 2008 Nissan Fuga vehicle was traveling west in the vicinity of Holmes Rock when the driver rolled over an unidentified object in the middle of the road. The driver eventually stopped and discovered the lifeless body of an adult male. Assistant Superintendent of Police, Stephen Roll.
The local doctor would have visited that scene, examined the victim, and pronounced him deceased. This matter is under active police investigation.
Apostle Joaquin says he never imagined that his beloved son would leave this earth so soon.
This year just spent his 32nd birthday. But I thought he was going to be around for a while, you know, because I know that there was a call in his life. He sings and plays music in the church.
He says he has no ill will for the driver of the vehicle, but the situation further highlights the need for proper lighting in the area. And while the victim will be sorely missed by relatives, he says one thing brings him comfort.
In his sickness, hey, I don't care what's going on with him, but once they call me and tell me my son somewhere, I can go and check on him and make sure, make sure he be taken care as best as possible. And I believe, without a shadow of doubt, that Joshua go on to be with the Lord. The Bible says that the seed of the righteous, they will be delivered.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Raven Davis.
I want to live a life that's real. Yeah. I want to serve you, God, for real. Yeah. You deserve all of this and more.
We certainly send our condolences to the family. In other news, an emergency crash landing on the island of Abaco is still under investigation. Preliminary reports are that around 4:10 p.m., a Piper aircraft owned by Inter-Island Charter was inbound from Eleuthera with 5 passengers, and unfortunately, the pilot experienced engine failure. Jolanda Thompson-Everest reached out to the manager of the Leonard Thompson Airport, Stephen Pettikin, who says that the pilot did an outstanding job by saving the lives of his passengers.
6 persons, 5 passengers, including a baby and a pilot, are lucky to be alive tonight after experiencing a sudden crash landing into bushes nearby Spring City Marsh Harbor, Abaco. The plane crash taking place yesterday evening en route from Eleuthera to Marsh Harbor. Manager of the Leonard Thompson Airport, Steve Pettigan, praising the pilot for saving the lives of those on board.
The engine was sputtering. Now, what caused that sputtering, or what, I guess anything man-made, all engines are subject to failure at some point. We don't know the history of service and mechanics and all that other stuff, whether or not that plays a role in this or not. So I really can't answer to say what really happens, because, it's something that just happens right out of the blue. I mean, I wouldn't think a pilot, would take a chance to leave Eleuthera to come to Abaco knowing that he has a possible engine problem.
A grandfather on board with his 8-month grandson took to social media post crediting God for the safe landing. The post reads, "We are thankful and grateful to have survived with no major injuries, and it was all because of God's grace and mercy and loving kindness and protection towards us that we are all still alive today." Pettikin says despite not knowing the full details of what exactly happened, the pilot did a good job by putting down the plane, paving the way for 5 passengers, including an 8-month-old baby, to survive. The manager adds that the airport protocol for safety are in place and believes that all pilots are following them to the best of their ability.
Our safety regulations are top-notch, both here and over at the FBO. We have a brand new fire engine, on standby in the event something happens at the airport. We have firemen who are capable and ready to respond to, hopefully we don't have to, but, to respond to any incident that might happen. So the security and the safety here, I mean, there is no outstanding issues.
Now the airport manager contends that he believes that the pilot will use his time to undergo some self-evaluation and will probably fly again sometime in the near future.
And I'm sure as a pilot, he realizes, these things could happen. They would happen. In this case, it did happen. And I don't, knowing him, he comes from a strong family. I believe after he recovers, he will be right there flying again. And I encourage him to do that,
Now we reached out to Inter-Island's charter owner, but he declined to make a comment. We also reached out to a few of the victims who also said that the matter is under investigation and would rather not make a comment at this time. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson-Everest.
When we come back, hear how the Small Business Development Center and Alive partnered to help budding entrepreneurs level up. That story, sports, and more when the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, returns.
You asked for it, you've got it. A new plan anniversary fully loaded with everything you need and extended hours. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Come and see the cabinets and countertops in stock now at Specialty Kitchen and Bath, number 16 Oak Street. Phone them at 688-9661.
Unfortunately, there are residents in our communities who continue to indiscriminately litter and dump trash around our city, creating an eyesore and environmental impact. We all know better. Only losers litter. We are in this together, so let's all do our part to keep our streets, land, and communities clean, green, and pristine.
Guess what? Budget Pest Control has something important to show you. Copter termites former Samus, the super termite. What makes them super? Their ferocious appetite can attack your home from below and above. They even attack forestry. But don't worry. Budget Pest Control has extensively studied this species on Grand Bahama. You can even check out our scientific paper. So you can count on us to protect your investment. Call Budget Pest Control, the termite specialist.
School is in. Here are a few safety tips brought to you by the Grand Bahama Power Company.
Kids, pack your school bag the night before so there's no panic in the morning.
Always buckle your seatbelt as soon as you enter the vehicle.
If you're walking to school, try to walk with a friend or family member.
Do not accept rides from strangers.
Always obey the speed limit when driving in school zones.
Use pedestrian crossing and crossing guards to cross the street.
Always cross in front and not behind your parents' cars. And remember to look both ways.
At pickup, wait for the vehicle to completely stop before approaching it.
And when all else fails,
be aware,
be alert,
and be safe this school year.
We are experiencing a natural disaster unlike anything we would have experienced in the past.
I'm Ricardo Lightbourne. Join me Tuesday, September 12th at 12 p.m. for the program Being Prepared, as utility companies at Grand Bahama share their plans before, during, and after a storm. Are you prepared?
Have the following supplies on hand at the start of the hurricane season. A minimum 3-day supply of water, which provides 1 gallon of water per person per day. Minimum 3-day supply of non-perishable food items. Flashlights and extra batteries. A battery-powered radio to receive broadcasts that will keep you informed of the storm. A first aid kit. A 7-day supply of any prescribed medication. Don't be caught off guard this hurricane season. Be prepared. Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The Small Business Development Center Access Accelerator, along with the Live Cable Bahamas, gave small to medium-sized businesses on Grand Bahama a free opportunity to hear from various stakeholders during its Level Up Entrepreneurship workshop over the weekend. It gave insight on how to start a business while keeping it up to date on current trends. Shane Stubbs has more in this report.
Through a strategic partnership between Small Business Development Center Access Accelerator and Alive, a number of business minds took full advantage of the Level Up Entrepreneurship workshop held at the Grand Lucayan. With ambitions of empowering small businesses throughout the country, Grand Bahama was the first stop in that journey. Executive Director for the SBTC, Samantha Rowles, says forums like this one makes it easier for small businesses to get the information they need from the voices that make a difference.
We hope that the participants here, which are entrepreneurs and small businesses in Grand Bahama, take away all of the things that they need, whether it's from the Grand Bahama Port Authority, whether it's from the Ministry for Grand Bahama, whether it's from Inland Revenue. Those are the availabilities or access to information that we want to afford to small businesses.
In helping businesses improve and gain access to grants, Head of Small and Medium Business Innovations for Alive Business, Chantel Sands, says Grand Bahama is brimming with business ideas that they hope to help get off the ground or continue to improve.
We realize that Grand Bahama has been, the economy has been low, but it's now on an upward trend. We find it important to be a part of the community and to also help the businesses grow, give them the advice and, the various solutions that they may need to do that growing.
And sharing similar mandates, Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie, applauds SBDC's continued mission of fostering growth within the entrepreneurial realm.
It is our hope that many of you will utilize much of what you learned today to propel your vision. I hope you grasp the concepts taught and elevate your business to new heights.
Now, we spoke to a few small business owners who were beaming at the opportunity to be a part of this workshop.
I think that small businesses really make the economy right now, and I'm glad that SBDC has been partnering with other businesses to take our businesses to another level.
I love the fact that it's investing in Grand Bahama. The next reason why I decided to come because I wanted more information on the license, because my business is a home business, but now it's growing into a commercial. I've never heard Miss Glenette speak, so now this is something I could learn from what she's saying. So just new information in different ways.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shane Stubbs.
It's now time for Health is Wealth.
The month of September is highlighted as the Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. Suicide is complicated, but it can sometimes be prevented. Warning signs look like talking about wanting to die or wanting to kill oneself, talking about feeling trapped or feeling that there are no solutions to their problems, feeling unbearable emotional or physical pain, and saying goodbye and putting affairs in order. These signs should not be ignored, and help should be sought out immediately. 5 steps to help someone considering suicide. 1. Ask, are you thinking about killing yourself? 2. Keep them safe by reducing access to dangerous or lethal items. 3. Be there to listen. 4. Help them connect to the National Hotline for Crisis Intervention. And 5. Stay connected to the person so that they know someone cares. Be an advocate this month and every month of the year. This is Dr. Kia King-Strawn, and this is your reminder that your mental health is also your wealth.
Well, I'm wearing my orange tie, and that is because the Dolphins won yesterday evening, which I'm sure you'll hear all about in Jay Philippe's Sports Package.
I'm Jay Philippe and welcome to Sports. It was a busy weekend, but I'm so glad to be back on the Monday. We have basketball, track and field, also softball. Let's jump right in. Over on the weekend, Bahamian female elite sprinter Anthony Strawn competed in 200 meters in Brussels, Belgium. Strawn crossed the finish line in second in a time of 22.31 seconds behind Jamaican world champion Sharika Jackson. Up next will be the Diamond League final set for Eugene, Oregon on September 16th through the 17th. From the track to the hardwood, Jonquel Jones and her New York Liberty lost to the Washington Mystics 90-88 on a last-second shot. The loss snaps the Liberty win streak, which now puts them 2 games behind the Las Vegas Aces in the win-loss column. Jones had one of her better games of the season, scoring 19 points to go along with 9 rebounds and 2 assists on 62% shooting from the field. The New York Liberty will now take on the Washington Mystic on Friday in the first round of the WNBA playoffs. Now in local sports, scores from the Grand Bahama Amateur Softball League on the weekend. In ladies fast pitch, Beautylicious defeated Lady Assassins 9-3. And in QCB Management got the win against Pats Uniform Red 7-5 in men's fast pitch. Now on Saturday, Express got the W against Marco City 18-4 in all men's play. The police force beat GB Health Services 14-9 in corporate play. Pats Uniform was victorious against Ira Boys 18-8 in all-men action, and Cooper's Destroyers won against Pats 9-8 in co-ed play. And finally in sports, a recap from some of the games from week 1 of the NFL opening week. The Dallas Cowboys completely destroyed the New York Giants, shutting them out 40-0 on Sunday Night Football. The Green Bay Packers defeated the Chicago Bears 38-20. The Philadelphia Eagles was able to hold off the New England Patriots 25-20 on the road. Jacksonville Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence went on the road and took care of the Indianapolis Colts 31-21. How about those San Francisco 49ers dominating the Pittsburgh Steelers 37 on the road with a convincing win? The Las Vegas Raiders in a nail-biter went into Denver and took down Russell Wilson and the Broncos 17-16. And of course,
Miami has the Dolphins, the greatest football team.
The Miami Dolphins took care of business on the road 36-34 against the LA Chargers in a thriller to win their season opener. Ladies and gents, that's a quick check on sports. I'm Jay Philippe. As always, be blessed.
Fluid Factory presents Rick Ross live in concert Saturday, December 23rd at Gombe Park, Freeport. Early bird tickets, general $35, VIP $50, and platinum $85. Fluid Factory Skybox $150. See you there.
New this month at Island Bedding and Furniture. 5- and 7-piece dining room sets. Gorgeous natural wood dining tables and bench sets in mango, acacia, or shisham wood, and your pick of additional chairs. All new living room pieces, including sectional, TV stands, accent tables, and more. For the bedroom, we're all about platforms, unbelievable prices, and no box spring required. Come on down to Island Bedding and feast your eyes on prices you have to see to believe.
Introducing our sizzling deal of the season. Sink your teeth into delicious piping hot Pizza Hut pizzas layered with your favorite toppings. Order 2 large one-topping pizzas for just $27.70. Call Pizza Hut Freeport at 352-9191 to order now. Available for carryout and delivery. 352-9191. Your taste buds and pocket will thank you. Only available at Pizza Hut Freeport.
Hi, I'm Wes. I'd like to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi, I would like to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi, I want to put some shoes on your feet.
I want to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi, I want to put some shoes on your feet.
Let us put shoes on your feet.
John West Shoes is now open. Carmichael West, Nassau, behind Wendy's.
Insurance Management, Bahamas Limited.
Maintaining strong relationships with superior customer service. Fulfilling all your insurance needs through commercial, property and casualty, marine and aviation, homeowners and contents, automotive for private and commercial, life insurance, medical, and pension investments. Being the best at who we are in Freeport since 1980.
Insurance Management, Bahamas Limited.
A name you've come to know and trust.
We've always been there for you.
So call us today at 350-3500 or visit our office on Pioneers Way.
Insurance Management, Bahamas Limited. Honestly,
nobody does it better.
If you're a bystander and you witness a vehicle accident involving a passenger, a power pole, and a downed power line, do not approach the accident scene. Stay in your car and call 919 for emergency medical assistance. Then call GB Power at 352-8411 so that they can disconnect the electricity from the accident site. Though persons may want to help, it's important to keep everyone away from the electrical equipment or from fallen wires. Rescue can only be attempted by a person trained to use special live line tools. If possible, talk to the passengers in the vehicle by yelling out. Encourage the passengers to avoid touching the car frame and not to move until help arrives. This message was brought to you by the Grand Bahama Power Company, reminding you that if it's down, it's dangerous.
Your #1 news team covering the North, Tonight, Northern Edition.
Stephen Farquharson, the country's biggest Giant fan. You are our Facebook friend of the day. As a result of that colossal loss to the Dallas Cowboys, we invite you to come on over as a Dull fan. And listen, Stephen, I got a tie for you. And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. On behalf of the entire news team here in the North, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight continues.
When we started Stormframe Windows in 1999, we wanted to fabricate an impact-rated product to compete with the Florida market, and we've done this. There's no fabricator or vendor from Florida that can do what we can in the Bahamas. Because we fabricate locally and we're a local-based company, we have the capability to provide better customer service than our competitors. With all the worldwide supply chain issues, we at Stormframe have improved our fabrication process and have invested in stock to be able to produce our orders in 4 weeks. We also keep in stock over 400 windows and doors at standard sizes for walk-in customers to purchase. Our professional sales staff is here to assist you with the complete purchase and installation. We also service and ship to the out outlets.
Thank you for your support, Bahamas.
Thank you for your support, Bahamas.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, the Prime Minister gets the ear of Chicago investors. A financial expert's tepid economic outlook. Tourism officials head to the Peach State. And in sports, Bahamas in Nations League. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Good evening, everyone. This is the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. I'm Makush Lapinder. Thanks for tuning in. Chicago investors lending an ear this afternoon to Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis during a sold-out event at an Illinois Premier Public Affairs Forum, all in hopes of drumming up business for the Bahamas. Addressing delegates at the City Club of Chicago, Prime Minister Davis spoke glowingly of the country's economic prosperity as a small island nation, trailing only behind two developed countries with the third highest gross domestic product per capita in the Western Hemisphere and with extraordinary opportunities for strategic partnerships in business. He further noted the government's ambition to grow and diversify the economy beyond last year's 14.4% and alluded to improving both internal and external systems to ensure the most productive and efficient practices. Strategically positioned geographically and as a financially compliant tax haven with counter-terrorism financing and transparency standards, Prime Minister Davis heralded the country's slogan, "It is better in the Bahamas," assuring the Chicago business community that indeed, in so many ways, it's too numerous to count. Well, the public certainly weighing in on the Davis administration's performance in office, just days shy of 2 years in. And based on feedback from 589 residents randomly interviewed throughout the Bahamas, 65% of those surveyed, a few points lower than last year's figure, approve of the job Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis is doing. To break those figures down for you, 23% of the 589 strongly approve and 42% somewhat approve. According to the poll, 9% somewhat disapprove, another 9% strongly disapprove, while the remaining 16%, well, simply didn't know. The makeup of those surveyed, 122 males and females apiece, were between the ages of 18 and 34 years. There were 116 men and 130 women between 35 years to 54, and 44 men and 55 women 55 years and older. Add up the numbers and men approve of the Prime Minister's performance just a wee bit more. When polled on the job the government's been doing, an unchanged 64% either strongly approved or somewhat approved of the Davis administration's performance. Public Domain's telephone survey was conducted September 5th through the 7th. The objective was to measure Bahamians' approval of the job being done by the Prime Minister and his government. In what many have described as a snap election, the PLP government swept 35 of the 39 seats in the polls in 2021. In a national statement last Sunday, the Prime Minister acknowledged that while his government has done a lot, there's so much more to do, especially in the case of serious and long-standing problems like high power bills, affordable housing, and crime. Well, Progressive Liberal Party Chairman, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, says the government is deeply appreciative of support from Bahamians.
We think we have presented an excellent mix of policies, and that mix has served the country well, brought us back from a deep, deep hole and recession into an era of progress. And we're trying to build on that progress that we've made so far. And I thank the Bahamian public again for their support. And we'll continue to work on behalf of them going forward.
The survey results also show that members of the public are relatively pleased with the Prime Minister's job performance, with his approval rating again at a good percentage. Minister Mitchell attributed that the public's poll approval of the Prime Minister's performance to one main factor.
Trust. I think they see someone who identifies with their needs, wants, ideas, hopes, futures, aspirations, and they trust him implicitly as a result of it. This is not a phony. There's no false thing about him. This is the real deal.
And speaking of responsibility, that is, and performance, cabinet ministers officially assumed their new posts this morning. Among those reporting to new offices, Ministers Clay Sweeting and Jomo Campbell. Sweeting has been appointed the new Minister of Works. His successor at the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources, former State Minister Jomo Campbell. The men, both cited as political rising stars, recently spoke about their accomplishments and what they hope to achieve in their new roles.
They should expect for me to be a minister who is open to new ideas, someone who's willing to listen. I come at this knowing that I certainly don't know everything about agriculture, but as Minister Sweeting said, nothing can happen without the complete cooperation of the team. I've met some of them. I'm fully confident that together we could achieve everything that was started and bring it to fruition.
I'm excited about my new role. I loved my time here at the Ministry of Agriculture as well. So for me, wherever the Prime Minister sends, I give my 120% and ensure that we are successful in whatever ministry.
And while we're on the Prime Minister, having lived through the country's transformation from a fishing village to a British colony onto an independent nation, pretty much qualifies the nation's leader to speak to the country's development over the past 5 decades. And that he did, as he touted the country's many successes. The opportunity coming in the form of the Prime Minister's address in Orlando, Florida this past weekend. Our Carla Palmer was there.
Today, the Bahamas stands strong as the country with the 3rd highest GDP per capita in the Western Hemisphere.
That fact garnered applause of the economic growth and stability of the Bahamas, and armed with additional statistical data, was all needed to further cement the selection of Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis as the 2023 recipient chosen for the Global Impact Leader of the Year award by Onyx magazine. The Prime Minister using the opportunity to tout the country's accomplishments under his leadership.
With double-digit real GDP growth for the past 2 years, we have become a magnet for foreign direct investments, as others have recognized the ripe opportunities for profitability within our borders. As the government develops new ways to reimagine our investments framework and diversify our economy, we expect to continue to sustain robust levels of economic growth while taking steps towards greater economic equality and paving the pathway to prosperity for future Bahamian generations.
By this time, already draped in the onyx signature, Prime Minister Davis told attendees of his early days as a boy growing up in Old Cat Island with grandparents who could not read or write. Still, he says, although he came from humble beginnings, he was filled with hope.
I was fortunate to grow up with a family, a community, and a nation that poured into me, empowered and inspired me to become what I am today. As leaders in our various fields, we have a moral duty to inspire and embolden the next generation of dreamers, innovators, and change makers to have an impact where they are planted with confidence that they can grow as tall trees, rooted in their convictions and supported by us. That is why I've always strived to use whatever platform I've been granted to make a meaningful difference.
With that, Prime Minister Davis called on regional leaders to not only speak on, but act on critical issues like climate change before it's too late, encouraging them as best they can to make a difference in the world. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Carla Palmer.
We now turn to an assessment of the country's fiscal health and future prognosis and how the view differs depending on whom you talk to. It's a rosy outlook from government projections, but a more tepid appraisal from one leading financial expert. Corval Pyfron spoke with the bank's CEO, and here's his view.
Fidelity's Gowan Bowe has a measured assessment of the country's fiscal state. While he sees positive post-pandemic indicators in areas like tourism, where visitor arrivals are soaring, and once furloughed employees have returned to work. He's not as optimistic, though, about the once thriving financial services sector, which he says is now in critical shape. With jobs in that industry disappearing at an alarming rate, he worries that so too will the country's middle class.
We have one of two choices. Either we look at revolutionizing the financial services sector in order to maintain the level of employment, or we identify an alternate sector that can contribute towards that middle income, upper income earning capacity.
And while the government touts a dip in unemployment to the lowest rate it says in 15 years, Bowe says even these statistics must be carefully considered as well. He says, yes, unemployment has fallen, but so has the number of people working. But a healthy dose of optimism, he says, isn't a bad thing either.
It is a science of, or an art of sentiment, that if we have people feeling positive, they behave positively, and it has a positive impact.
And don't expect inflation to go anywhere anytime soon. Bowe says it'll be a while still before we fully recover from this economic downturn.
Given that we've had such a huge swing on inflation, we have such a huge swing taking place that may lead to recession, equilibrium, in reality, is probably 18 to 24 months away.
On the positive side, while economies across the globe have been at the mercy of their respective central banks setting high interest rates, Bowe says that's unlikely to happen here.
So if there is one peace of mind people can take place, I don't foresee the central bank looking at lifting interest rates because it doesn't have a need to do so to bring equilibrium. What is taking place in the U.S. is to bring equilibrium. The central bank, for all intents and purposes, has remained at an equilibrium state.
Bowe considers himself a pragmatist, so he doesn't discount any positive signs in our economic forecast. But again, he is a pragmatist, so he says that the only way that consumers can weather any economic storm is by practicing fiscal prudence. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corval Pyfron.
Well, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Aviation and Investments, the Honorable Chester Cooper and Team Tourism are off to Atlanta to promote the Bahamas as prime destination in the beach state. He says there are already cultural ties and airlift with direct flights from Delta, American, and Frontier Airlines. With tourist arrivals in the country already 59% ahead of last year, the Minister of Tourism is hoping to continue that growth with help from the Atlanta market.
We're not just promoting the sun, sound, and sea, but we're promoting our culture, our heritage, the warmth of our people, the entertainment possibilities, and of course, we are a great romance hub. So honeymoons and weddings, only 2 hours away from Atlanta, and therefore we are encouraged that there will be many business or romantic weekends direct from Atlanta to the Bahamas. We're excited about the possibilities.
Still to come, another man on bail for murder, gunned down. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
Welcome to a world where hope is still loud, where dreams are still relevant, and determination has no substitute. Welcome to a nation where the people are still warm, resilient, and innovative. And Commonwealth Bank is at the center of it all, giving innovation and progress an extra push for more than 60 years. We're here for Bahamians because we are Bahamian. Commonwealth Bank, your leader in personal banking services.
Just when Leo was about to buy this useless pair of Hands underwear, he remembered that it was Tuesday. Hungry for deals? You better come satisfy it at KFC before doing something crazy. Crazy Tuesdays! 5 juicy, mouth-watering pieces of world-famous KFC chicken, handmade with a secret blend of 11 herbs and spices for only $10. Crazy Tuesdays! A finger-licking good deal.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price. And you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
My business couldn't survive without my credit card machine from Fidelity.
It's fast, convenient, and my clients love it.
My sales increase, and I can track my earnings.
Get your credit card machine from Fidelity today.
Call 356-7764.
Savings are especially sweet this week at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Soy's mayonnaise 30-ounce, $4.99. Rainbow corned beef 12-ounce, $2.39. Capri Sun drinks 10-count, $4.99. Pretty Lady grapes $3.99 per pound. Turkey wings $1.89 per pound. Donate your change to help feed the Humane Society animals at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Make your company representative stand out through an embroidery design on your uniforms from Janae's Uniform Center, Chesapeake Road. Janae's utilizes the latest state-of-the-art embroidery technology to monogram large and small quantities of shirts, caps, bags, and other articles. If you don't already have a digitized logo, Janae's can design and digitize your idea and bring it to life. Then install the logo of your choice from their large selections of 27 stock colors of golf shirts in cotton or dry fit, caps, or workwear. Call 394-8385 or 6 or visit www.janaes.com.
2 men from Harbor Island, Eleuthera, maintaining their innocence in the face of a serious crime. The 2 pleading not guilty in a magistrate's court Monday to 2 separate counts of unlawful sexual intercourse with a minor. The defendants, a 24-year-old and a 39-year-old males, were denied bail and remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections. They returned to court on January 25th, 2024. And the trend continues. Yet another man shot and killed here in the capital while on bail for murder. The brazen daylight shooting taking place Sunday afternoon. Police press liaison officer, Chief Superintendent Chrysalyn Skippings, says officers were alerted to the Lightbourne Street Yellow Elder Gardens incident around 3:15 p.m.
Information received is that 2 masked male, both of whom were clad in dark clothing and gloves, were observed running west along Lightburn Street when one of the men produced a firearm and fired gunshots. It is believed that during the exchange of gunshots, the deceased was shot by his accomplice, who fled the area running west along Lightburn Street. Police recovered from the scene a magazine for a high-powered weapon. The deceased is known to police. He's presently on bail for murder. He is in his mid-20s. We are actively investigating this latest incident.
As the case in such matters, police are appealing to anyone with information to contact the Central Detective Unit. Meantime, head of the Grove Police Station, Chief Superintendent Chaswell Hanna, shared how they're addressing the issue of persons on bail for serious offenses ending up dead.
When someone is released on bail, they have bail requirements. Some of them have curfews. Some of them assign into a particular police station at a certain time. And if they do not, there are consequences. So one of the strategies we're using, not only in the Grove division, but all the other divisions, is we are paying closer attention to those persons who are supposed to be signing in. And where there are breaches, we are rearresting them and taking them before the court with a view to have their bail revoked. And that is something specific that we are doing. We are also, our prolific offenders, as you know, for the most part, the issues we have in crime, it's the same group of individuals over and over again. So what do we do? We pay visits to them. When we get information that these persons may have firearms or drugs, we execute search warrants. If we see them driving around in vehicles acting suspiciously, we pull them over. We do stop and search.
Meantime, based on the turnout at a recent police crime symposium at Camp Road Ministries, a number of residents are hoping to gain insight on crime prevention strategies. Officer in charge of the Wolf Road Police Station, Superintendent Ezra Maycock, came armed with a number of safety tips to avoid becoming a victim.
You don't let everybody know you're making your deposit. You don't go the same route every day. Also, focusing on traffic matters, whether it's infractions, where persons moving around, especially in these Japanese vehicles, robbing, committing serious offenses and whatnot. We're targeting them.
Guest speakers also shared their expertise covering several areas, including types of crime, legal challenges, as well as organizing and hosting a violence-free public event. All in all, police say their efforts to reduce crime continue on the streets.
Our strategy, what we have in place, 24-hour saturation patrol. They're targeting wanted suspect, prolific offenders. The hotspots, we're shutting them down. We go there, walk about, sensitizing members of the public, what to look for.
Armed robbery is an offense that plagues everyone. And as I look around the room, I see younger, and the youngest. I won't even venture into saying old, because I ain't getting in no trouble. But that's not a CID crime. That's not a Wolf Road Police Station crime. That's not a Camp Road crime. That's a crime that can affect everybody.
Well, here's another matter requiring your attention. Have you seen this man? 51-year-old Walter Turner is of East Street. He's quiet and reportedly has a slight mental challenge. But here's the thing. According to his brother, Cortez Turner, it's been a month now since Walter was last seen on Saunders Beach.
My brother, Walter Turner, has been missing for, this week is going to be for 5 weeks. And we've been, different places trying to locate him, and has come up empty-handed. So we want to alert the public and let them know that he hasn't been found. and we need their assistance in case if they have seen them, or just walking around or anything, that they will contact the police or even contact the family and let us know so we can locate him, because we are very concerned for the length of time that that he has been missing.
Well, if you have any information on 51-year-old Walter Turner, please contact his brother, Cortez, at 428-7223. That's 428-7223. His sister, Vera Moss, at 361-2926. That's 361-2926. Or police at 911 or 502-9991 or 2. On to health. Despite dengue cases rising in the country, numbers now at 88, according to the latest tally. President of the Bahamas Nurses Union, Nurse Muriel Lightbourne, says that it's not posing a big strain on nurses just yet.
The minister would have spoken to about having the clinics, some of the clinics open up to address that. And so far we've not had any complaints in terms of persons with not being able to get care. And it seems to be moving along quite efficiently. Like I said, no concerns with the nurses.
Inadequate health insurance, incremental changes to salaries, and a fair and equitable compensation. Just some of the outstanding matters senior health care physicians are seeking to address in a new industrial agreement that is yet to be negotiated. President of the Physicians and Consultants Association, Dr. Sabrika Pinder, telling ZNS News she's been waiting to have a meeting with health authorities since February.
We have not had any meetings, unfortunately, for months. It is quite distressing to our senior group. We continue to reach out because we have been working extremely hard from COVID, and we continue to do our best to try to take care of patients. But we really need to have things sorted out. We have reached out to the Prime Minister and to persons in finance to please look at this matter as a matter of urgency, because we want to continue to do our best. We're losing physicians, unfortunately. Some of them are not keeping the faith in the system.
Marcellus Hall joins us in studio with a check on what's coming up in sports. Marcellus?
Coming up in sports for this evening, our men's national soccer team taking to the pitch against Puerto Rico. Full details ahead in sports.
Tourism today, Bahamas Tourism today.
We're going to Atlanta. This is our 10th or 11th city in our U.S. tour. These missions have been really important to really get the word out. We're open for business. We're creating new partnerships. Atlanta is an important market for us, as is the entirety of Georgia. It's rich in culture, and the connections are profound between Atlanta and Bahamas. We have direct flights, many of them. Delta Airlines, Frontier. Delta is increasing their airlift. So this is an overall generally good market for us. The Georgia market is up maybe 34% ahead of last year, so it's growing. We want to really harness the partnerships that we've been building in this Atlanta area and Georgia generally. We have a very special night that honors a few of our partners in the film industry. This is going to be very exciting. We're going to make a further announcement shortly, but we expect some well-known big-ticket names to be in attendance. We've been working very closely with the Atlanta Film Authority, and we are going to be working to develop a memorandum of understanding so that they can encourage their partners to work in the Bahamas. So this is going to be one of the areas that we're going to focus very heavily on. We have some really exciting things in the pipeline. So whilst the push on the missions have been really exhilarating, we have new things up our sleeves that we're going to be talking about soon.
Health
is the greatest gift. That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 95th Terrace, Centerville, and now located in the Lucaya Shopping Center of Freeport, Grand Bahama.
Our commercial customers are excited about the new CBS Bahamas website. Now, account managers can add sub-users, set purchasing permissions, and bulk add items to their cart for quick and easy checkout.
Our new website is faster, smarter, and it's even easier to browse our products. You can earn reward points with every purchase. Plus, we now have a 24/7 AI-powered chat assistant. Visit the new cbsbahamas.com today.
Goes my new car. Guess I'm back on my bike.
Your bike? CG offers new car replacement. Remember my monster truck days? Well, one night I attempted a 50-foot pogo double backflip. I landed it and went to karaoke. It wasn't until afterward that my car got hit by that fisherman. He gave me some great mahi-mahi though. Anyway, they paid fast and got me in a new car. Now call it, cab. I want you to meet my alpaca guy.
New car replacement for the first year of ownership. CG Atlantic agents and brokers. Good like that.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station. Open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
From New York City and all around the world tonight, people are remembering the anniversary of the September 11th terrorist attacks on the United States. More than 3,000 lives were lost on that fateful day 22 years ago during a series of airplane hijackings and subsequent crashes into the World Trade Center in New York, the Pentagon, and a field in Pennsylvania. Observances held across the United States with U.S. President Joe Biden addressing more than 1,000 military personnel, first responders, and their families at a special ceremony at a military base in Alaska. Here in the Capitol, the U.S. Embassy flew its flag at half-staff today in remembrance of the lives lost and those impacted by the deadly attacks.
For us, I mean, it was an attack pretty much on all of us, I feel like, you know, from every culture, every race, and that's what we're dealing with.
In terms of travel safety, that sort of stuff, I mean, how do you feel?
I feel kind of safe now. They made it safer. A lot of TSA checkpoints, so I feel kind of safe.
It changed the whole language and whole, how can I say, language of people towards other people as well within the nation.
So just think everybody need peace, man. Come together.
On a lighter note, college and university hopefuls taking full advantage of the Charlotte Knowles Thompson Bahamas College Fair at the Holy Trinity Activity Center. DeVry, one of the 30 tertiary institutions at this year's event, participating for the second year, with officials explaining the advantages of a DeVry education that offers certificates up to doctorate degrees.
The crowd was really receptive of us last year, so we decided that we're going to continue and we're going to join this year. So reaching out to the community of the Bahamas has been really great. They've received us, and so we're thankful for that.
Our top programs are definitely business administration, IT. We have a wide range of IT programs. It's just mind-blowing how much the field has changed these days. And we also have some health programs as well.
Toronto, Canada-based Centennial College also had a presence at the fair. Olga Raya, Centennial College sub-regional manager for Latin America and the Caribbean, says their students receive a quality education.
We have over 200 programs. We are Toronto #1 college. We have 7 campuses in the city of Toronto, and we have a program for anybody. We have business programs, we have engineering, we have aerospace, we have pilot program, we have culinary management, we have health and community study, we have industry, we also have environment programs. Oh, we have so many programs. We also have arts, video game programs, game programming. We offer over 200 programs. We also have postgraduate programs. We have diplomas, bachelor's degree. Basically, one of the largest colleges in Canada.
The ability to read, key to opening a world of possibilities. For students at the Stephen Dillard Primary, Friday's World Literacy Day was special as they got to hear stories from ZNS News personalities, those whose job is to read. Oh, the places you'll go. You won't lag behind because you'll have speed. You'll pass the whole gang and you'll soon take the lead. Wherever you fly, you'll be best of the best. Wherever you go, you will top all the rest. An excerpt from Dr. Seuss's book, Oh, the Places You'll Go. But literacy is a big part of starting the journey, and faculty, staff, and students of Wolf Road Stephen Dillard Primary know that all too well.
We want to make sure that our boys and girls are engaged in reading a book, not just using the devices. We want them, and that's why I'm holding this book right now. We want them to get back to the basics. We want when they go out into society, they're taking notice of the signs. And so all of that is a part of it. It's not just reading the book, but we want them to be aware of their surroundings. So today is an exciting day. We are so happy to have all of you with us today for National Literacy Day.
That all Stephen Dillard Principal Shirlene Wallace speaks of are a few members of the Broadcasting Corporation's team, in the person of Assistant General Manager of News, Opal Roach.
Pete loved his white shoes so much that he sang this song. I love my white shoes. I love my white shoes. I love my white shoes. I guess I should sing that to a tune. I love my white shoes. Let's sing with me. I love my white shoes. I love my white shoes. I love my white shoes.
Talk show host Spence Finlayson, producer Vaughn Albury, editor Cleopatra Murphy.
Every day of the year, every day of the year.
Good job, Carlisa.
And myself.
Mrs. Wobble was a waitress. She liked her work. The customers liked her. The only trouble was she wobbled.
Lest we forget, cameraman Randy Knowles and Utah Taylor. But even with our help, as education officials continue to stress, parent involvement is key.
We want to make sure that our PTA is on board, and then of course we want to just pull our parents as they come in. So it means that we need to talk to them. So instead of just letting our students out, sometimes you will see administrators engaging with parents on the outside, and we want to pull them in. And then of course we need initiatives for them too, because we want them to realize that it's important. We need you to work with us. Together we can make a difference.
To the students of Stephen Dillard, oh, the places you'll go. And will you succeed? Yes, you will, indeed. 98.75% guaranteed. Well, meantime, a down-home breakfast for hundreds of youngsters as a jump start to another productive day in the classroom. And this as officials move to more effectively tackle hunger in the country. Fort Charlotte MP, the Honourable Alfred Sayers, nixed the suit and tie Thursday morning for a much more casual look as he chefed it up in the kitchen making breakfast. Or should we say served as sous chef alongside Chef Emmanuel Gibson of Manuelo's restaurant. With napkins in pockets and sanitary gloves on hand, the cabinet minister was very early this morning tasked with cooking yellow grits.
Good. Just like Mama Grits. Yep.
Cleaning and polishing red apples that were boxed and loaded onto a waiting lorry, as were boxes of oranges, trays of diced steamed sausage, yellow grits, bowls of tuna, and cases of juice and water. The recipients, hundreds of school-age students and faculty of 3 schools here in the capital. Home of the Lions, H.O. Nash Jr., the first stop around 7:30 a.m.
This endeavor today is to really encourage the students here at H.O. Nash, also at T.G. Glover Primary School, and Eva Hilton Primary School. We have extraordinary young people. In fact, one of the former students of H.O. Nash, Mr. Sanders, who went on, got a scholarship while here at H.O. Nash, became the head boy at St. Andrews, went off to Canada, led a hedge fund in Canada, led the office in Singapore, and is now a very successful investment banker in Canada. He is one example of the extraordinary potential of the Bahamian students here at H.O. Nash.
With laden backpacks on their shoulders, eager T.G. Glover Primary students clamored the serving table not to be shared out. On the giving end of the assembly line, Sayers was among those serving up. Partnering with Manuelo's and Bahamas Striping, the Rotary Club of South Ocean.
As the Rotary Club of South Ocean, we believe in service above self. So this is just one of the many projects that we tend to partner with, or the initiatives we support throughout our Rotary year.
We were able to be in the kitchen early in the morning where we started the production, and we had to coordinate in terms of going to the 3 different schools. So that was really not a much challenge, but it just called for a lot of planning and making sure that we execute all the key things that we set out to do. And so I'm happy to be a part of it. I'm certainly the students are enjoying it, and it's well needed in the schools. And so, so let's continue to nourish our kids.
The last stop, students of Eva Hilton Primary. Thursday's initiative precedes the introduction of the government school breakfast program to be launched later this month.
In case you missed the news or want to stay ahead, subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us on X, TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook.
Should go over here. The Ministry of Agriculture, Marine Resources, and Family Island Affairs got new services on my gateway for farmers and fishermen. Now I can get my farmland lease, my farmer's registration and license too. Take that, Ozzy. That's my cousin who always trying to one-up me, but I got him now.
That who? Not Ozzy, eh?
Well, who else?
Roy. Ozzy done get his crawfish trapping permit and he out to sea on Roy's boat.
Visit mygateway.gov.bs today.
At Cartwright, our members know that there's a lot to smile about. They know that membership has its privileges. Guaranteed low pricing on every item, every time you shop. Each membership comes with 2 cards. That's one for you and a free card for a member of your household. Gold card holders earn an annual 2% rebate up to $500. Cartwright members get discounts at other participating businesses. So that's a lot to smile about. Whether it be clothing, appliances, home goods, or groceries, shop at Cartwright, where membership truly has its privileges.
For hurricane season, we got impact windows and doors. For protection, just come to our store. Plus we got ties to pretty up your walls and your floors. We'll help you brighten up for that big bad storm. Porcelain tiles, blank tiles, mosaic tiles, a variety of styles. Before teens get right, they gotta be rough. That's why we got the best deals in the whole Bahamas. Hey, hey.
Buy Chef Boyardee and Libby's Vienna sausages, and you could be one of 7 lucky winners to receive cash prizes up to $1,000. Take your receipts to Pritchard's on Robinson Road and enter today.
Vibrant heart of the Bahamas, a common loftier goal unites us all. A place where love and unity thrive, where world-class technology is accessible and affordable, connecting every generation. We believe in our heritage and the boundless potential that lies within us. We believe in Bahamians.
Hey, it's your honorary pump attendant here to educate you on the do's and don'ts at the service station. Here's what you don't do. Do not pull up from the pump without first checking that the nozzle has been removed from your car. Because if you pop this, that's about $600,000 to $30,000 to replace. These things ain't cheap. What you want to do is make sure that the nozzle has been removed, or just wait for the universal sign, which is the double tap.
Enter to win with Hellmann's and Knorr. Buy Hellmann's and Knorr rice or pesticides and take your receipt to Pritchard's on Robinson Road. You could win one of 6 prizes. Enter today.
You can find it all at Builders Mall. From cement, lumber, block, plumbing, and electrical to paint, lights, vanities, and tiles. Not to mention all the tools you could possibly need to get the job done. Say if you're starting a major project, adding the finishing touches, or just doing some repair or rental work around the house. FYP, the Paint Center, and Tile King can help. Stop by or call 601-8453. Located 69 Wolf Road, Nassau. You can find it all at Builders Mall. Building, painting, and tiling, the Bahamas.
Grand Bahama, the fastest growing island for stopover visitors with a growth rate of about 56%. Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, the Honorable Chester Cooper, says that's indicative of the economy being on the rebound, as cruise arrivals are also up 20 to 25% over the previous year. With several investments like Six Senses and the Carnival Cruise Port, Cooper says he's expecting wonderful things for the island. The Grand Lucan Resort that has yet to be sold, but Cooper says government is not just awaiting a buyer, as the property that is open is getting business.
We are consistently improving the offerings. So the Prop Club that I'm sure many of you know will be opening soon. Retail Street, we're doing some work there. Vendor opportunities, it's going to be exciting. There's work being done on the pools to keep them vibrant. We have a lot of day business from Margaritaville, and that's keeping the environment very upbeat, and there are exciting possibilities happening there for vendors and the employees of the Grand Lucan Resort. So we're not just waiting for a sale, we're working, and occupancy is improving.
Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather, and for that we turn to Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Makisha. We had a pretty nice day. We just have a few clouds outside of our studios at this hour. The temperature stands at 83 degrees, relative humidity 77%, northeast wind 6 miles per hour, the barometric pressure 1,016.0 millibars, that is 30.00 inches, and the pressure is rising. Temperatures around the Family Islands this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian American Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 86 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, and Greenville Key in Abaco, Marshall, Abaco at 83 degrees. The Berry Islands, 86. Allenstown, Bimini, 85. 84 degrees in Harper Island. Rock Sound, Eleuthera, 83. Black Point, Exuma, Kemp Space on Andros, and Fresh Creek in Central Andros at 84 degrees. 82s in Otterstown, Cat Island, San Salvador, and Rumkey, Georgetown, Exuma, 84. 82 in Ragged Island, Clarencetown, Long Island, and Crooked Island. Betsy Bay, Megawanda, 83. Actors, 83. Mattytown, Unagua, 86. And the Turks and Caicos Islands at 86 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Setter in the Northwest and Central Islands tonight through tomorrow. Well, those winds, they're going to be northeast at 10 to 15 knots and the wave height 2 to 4 feet. High tide occurs at 7:21 this evening with another high tide at 6:56 tomorrow morning. Now for the southeast Bahamas tonight through Tuesday, northerly winds at 15 to 20 knots, wave heights 4 to 7 feet. So caution flags are in place for boaters in the southeast Bahamas tonight. And then Wednesday in the northwestern parts of our country, we will see an uptick in those winds. They become northerly at 12 to 18 knots. The wave heights building 3 to 6 feet, which will constitute a caution flag on Wednesday. High tide takes place at 7:31 in the morning with the low tide at 1:38 in the afternoon. Now for the central and southeastern islands on Wednesday, the winds increasing up to 15 to 20 knots out of the northwest, wave heights building 4 to 7 feet. And in addition to those wave heights, you can expect some very large swells in the central and southeastern Bahamas by the middle of this week. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. That's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned. Extended weather forecast is still ahead.
Have you ever purchased a defective item and was denied an exchange or cash refund? Contact the Consumer Protection Commission at 393-7795 through 8 or our 24-hour complaints hotline at 357-7898 and let us help your voice be heard.
Hey, get up, stand up for your right.
The most important thing in life is family, and whenever you need reliable advice, you look to the people you know you can trust. At J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, we earn our clients' trust every day. Whether it's home, motor, travel, or commercial insurance, we've got you covered. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance, peace of mind.
First we plan, then we innovate, then we build. At Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we are committed to quality, to safety, and to service. We know that the road you take is just as important as your final destination. At Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, it is our job to make sure the road and the ride are as smooth as possible. From striping roads to building them, we are the right choice, the trusted choice, the only choice to help you build your tomorrow.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Welcome to your ZNS Total Sports Check, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. This past weekend, our men's national soccer team taking to the field to begin play in the Nations Cup for CONCACAF. How did they do? Well, let's find out. Men's national soccer team up against Puerto Rico in CONCACAF Nations League play Saturday at the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. Bahamasville, they started off pretty well. Jumped out to a 1-0 lead. That, however, would be short-lived. Puerto Rico would answer big time to the tune of 6 goals. Matter of fact, they go on to win in lopsided fashion. 6-1 ends up being the final score. Head coach Nestle Jean talking about the team's performance.
Obviously, there's a different team, a different style of play, so we have to adjust to our identity, like Peter said. Obviously, we have nothing to lose. We need to take risks. We need to get up the field, and by doing that, we'll get our chances.
With the GSSA elections now behind us, newly re-elected President Varel Davis says one of her focuses moving forward will be having teachers paid on time.
We had some questions Owen back about 2017, 2018. The current Ministry of Education officials inherit this problem. And so I can say this year, 2022-23 was one of the best years we had in terms of payment. To this date, majority of our coaches, officials are being paid. And so I must say thank you so much to the Minister of Education, Honorable Hannah Gladys Martin, and also the sport unit as well, who did an excellent job to ensure that we are paid this year. And so we still got a lot to work on with that going forward. And so I hope that will probably be no more, it will be in the past, because that's the only problem we really had.
A number of the country's top junior cyclists preparing to compete in regional competitions this weekend. The youngsters being coached by veteran cyclist Byron Tober Musgrove, who talked about what's ahead.
This is the Caribbean Elite Junior Cycling Championships that's being held every year. And we have, for the first time, one of our largest junior squads traveling to this event. And we're looking forward to continue to build on our previous experiences and performances.
Cycling President Roy Colbert talked about the team's expectations heading into competition.
We expect for those individuals on this team that's going here to do very well this coming weekend down in the Dominican Republic. But what it shows our continuous effort to ensure that our young people have opportunities to travel around the world and competing for the country in which they so love, the Bahamas. That's very important for these youngsters to go out and to compete against their peers throughout the Caribbean and indeed the world.
And that's it. Your check on sports for you here on this Monday. Don't go anywhere. We have that look at the weather. That is just ahead.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Join up for life insurance. Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A brand that you can trust. Family Guardian.
Hey, it's your honorary pump attendant here to educate you on the do's and don'ts at the service station. Here's what you don't do. Do not pull up from the pump without first checking that the nozzle has been removed from your car. Because if you pop this, that's about $600,000 to $30,000 to replace. These things ain't cheap. What you want to do is make sure that the nozzle has been removed, or just wait for the universal sign, which is the double tap.
Hey, Mom, can you look after Kaylee?
Sorry, I'll be out for a while doing my home and car insurance.
What? There's a newer way, right?
A new way?
Where have you been? Look, go to newerinsurance.com, log in, get your quote, buy your insurance, done. You can even use it to manage a claim.
Oh? By the way, it's not newer. It's N-U-A. Where's she been?
Do it anyway with NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers.
With the help of our authorized financial institutions, or AFIs, using sand dollars is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Step 1. Identify your preferred AFI by browsing their websites or contacting them directly. Step 2. Download the free mobile application from Google Play or the Apple Store and then register for a sand dollar account. Step 3. Load money onto your mobile app and begin sending and receiving sand dollars or purchasing and selling goods and services.
We are pleased to be
your central bank approved
digital wallet providers.
It does not matter
Which of us you choose?
You can pay for goods and services
Wherever sand dollar is accepted.
We are all in this together.
Visit sanddollar.bs for more information.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, Lee has weakened but remained a very powerful major hurricane with winds of 115 miles per hour. As of 5 o'clock this afternoon, the center of Lee was some 380 miles to the north of the Leeward Islands. It has slowed down, now moving towards the west-northwest at some 7 miles per hour. And we anticipate some fluctuation in intensity over the next day or two as it moves towards the west-northwest, gradually turning towards the northwest come late Wednesday, and then we would have that northerly component by Thursday, which should pull it away from the Bahamas. As you can see, some further weakening is anticipated late in the week as Lee remains well to the east of the Bahamas. No direct impact from this system, but nevertheless, very large swells will begin impacting the Turks and Caicos Islands and the southeast Bahamas tonight. Those large swells will continue to ride up the coast of the more easterly islands of the Bahamas by the middle of the week, and by weekend we will see some of those here in the northwest Bahamas as well. So we're simply asking boaters to exercise extreme caution for the balance of this week. And then out in the central Atlantic there, we have another hurricane just formed this afternoon. This has been lurking out there for the past couple of days now. It carries the name of Margot, and at 5 o'clock this afternoon, Margot was some 1,265 miles to the northwest of the Cape Verde Islands, which is right here off the coast of Africa. Margot is now moving towards the north at about 12 miles per hour, poses no threat to land, and we will continue to keep you posted of its progress. Forecast track, as we told you already, continuing on that northwest track, and it will turn towards the east and then gradually making a half loop as we head into the early part of next week. Satellite picture closer to home, high pressure still in control, but we have a little weakness across the northwest Bahamas, and that could fire up 1 to 2 brief showers during the course of the next day or two. Elsewhere, partly cloudy to mostly clear skies tonight for much of the 700 islands. Here in the capital, mainly clear, very warm with your low temperature at 81 degrees. Tomorrow, we're looking at partly sunny, a couple of showers lurking around as a result of that weakness we just talked about. High temperature getting up to 90 degrees. And the extended weather forecast, isolated showers into Wednesday. Thereafter, the skies will open up with lots of sunshine in our forecast, taking us right into the weekend, and those summer-like temperatures will continue for the next several days. Makishla.
Well, thanks, Basil. That does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.